Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Gates County Board of Commissioners regular scheduled meeting. I'm Emily Truman. I serve as the 2026 Board Chair. Tonight, I am joined with Vice Chair Nathan Berryman, Commissioner Brian Roundtree, Commissioner Dave Forsyth, County Manager Scott Sauer, County Attorney Pitt Godwin, and Clerk to the Board Renee Draper. At this time, we're going to ask Commissioner Roundtree if he will provide the invocation and lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you, Lord, for once again having a county commissioner meeting, Lord, that we can take care of our county business for our constituents. Lord, we ask you for guidance, we ask you for direction, and we ask you for wisdom. We acknowledge you in all our ways, and Lord, direct our path. We thank you for good success. We thank you for productiveness. We thank you for looking out for the best interests of our citizens. Help us, Lord, to be mindful, have decorum, respect, and we thank you, Lord. In all things, we give you grace and praise. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Roundtree. We're going to move into the approval of the agenda. Thursday, March 12th and Monday, March 16th, Manager Sauer emailed correspondence regarding the recommendation of tentative award to T.A. Loving Company for the Gates County, Bennett's Creek, Carter's Road, Gatesville Transmission, and Highway 158 water improvements that included several attachments. Those documents have been placed at your seat and will be incorporated into the official record. I'll entertain a motion to add the approval of the resolution of tentative award to the consent agenda.
Madam Chair, so moved.
So seconded.
All right. And we'll ask for a motion to approve on that if there's no discussion. All in favor? All right. That is unanimous. And are there any other changes to the agenda? No? Okay. If none, if I can ask for a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Second.
All right. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Moving down to the consent agenda, are there any amendments or clarifications in regard to that? And if not, a motion to approve the consent agenda is in order.
Madam Chair, so moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you all. We're going to move straight into introduction of new hires. I'm going to ask Mr. Warren Perry if he can come to the podiums for those introductions.
One right here, one beside the other. Good evening, Mr. Sauer, Commissioners, and Attorney Pitt Godwin. Tonight I'm here to welcome two new employees in public utilities. One on my far left is Corey Saunders. He started in November of last year. He lives in Tanner and comes to us from the public utilities of the town of Eatonton. On my immediate left is Kermit Owens. Kermit started in December of last year. He lives in Hoswell and comes to us also from the town of Eatonton. And he also had 15 years or 10 years serving in Dare County for public utilities and knows some reverse osmosis, so that's always good. Both have their CDL Class Bs, and I know you join me in welcoming them here tonight, and they wanted me to speak on their behalf.
Awesome. Thank you both.
Welcome. Welcome. Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
Welcome aboard.
I'm going to say if you can. Okay. All right. We're now going to invite Mr. Bob Steinberg to the podium to give a lobbyist update to the board.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, Board, Mr. County Manager. Delighted to be with you all tonight to give you an update on what's going on in Raleigh. As you are all aware, we have not had any budget as of yet. The General Assembly is going to be reconvening on April the 24th. and we'll probably be there for, I'm guessing, 5 or 6 weeks to try and hammer out a budget and take on some other issues like teacher pay. They want to try and address that before they go home and get those increases for teachers, and which I think is needed without question, and also deal with the Medicaid issue of funding it and so on and so forth. So that those are two big items they'll be focused on as they go in on the 24th of April. Now, as it relates to Gates County, I have some items here that we have been in discussion about as it relates to your goals and so forth, and assistance that might be needed, will be needed from the state at some point or another. And I'm going to just run through these very quickly if I can, and then if anybody has any questions, they certainly can ask. But the number one issue, I think, on everybody's mind is the fluoride issue, and that is is going to probably take a $25 million request to have that filled, and it's going to be that's a pretty big ask, but it's a pretty big problem. So we're hoping that we can get that to the attention of those folks in this short session so we can start moving forward on getting that thing turned around. Something I learned that I did not know, but just learned a short time ago, was that the water in Gates County, with the exception of the fluoride, is some of the purest water anywhere in the state. So I mean, I was just amazed to hear that, and I think that will help us in trying to move forward this request. Also, I know you have a new middle school that is going to be needed. That's a $60 million request. But I want to mention this. There's something that I'm hoping in this session that we might be able to do before securing all of the funds that we would need, or most of the funds that we need for the new middle school, and that is a new HVAC system for Gatesville Elementary, which we're talking about approximately $5 million, I think is the figure. And that may be a good place for us to start in this abbreviated long session. So we're going to see what we can do with that. We're also on the agenda, things that we'd like to accomplish and hope to be able to fund, if not this session, moving forward over the next couple of years. $10 to $12 million for the new senior center, community center, and that would be including ball fields and so on and so forth. I know the county is in need of 3 new ambulances, and that request is $1,050,000 for that. I did talk with some of your leadership about the situation with the fire station over in Hobbsville, and the fact that it's like 55 to 60 years old and is going to need, they'll either need a new station. I'm told that if they bought new equipment, the new equipment wouldn't even fit in the old station. Let's see here. I think that's it for the list of items that you all are looking to be assisted on and with, and that's basically my presentation. That's where we are. April 24th, going back in, we've been talking with your legislators, your representative and your senator, so they're aware of these as well, and we'll be advocating for them. We just don't know, with this session, we just don't know exactly how deep they're going to go into a budget. We didn't have a budget for the long session. This is technically the short session, and they've got a long session following it next year, so I'm just not sure how many of these things we'll be able to address, but I'm confident we can secure a couple of these things here in this session. Can't promise anything. I said I'm confident we can do it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I'm going to open up to the board then for comments and questions.
Just one thing, I know in this short session, are not likely to do it, but Senator Hannick had said and Representative Ward had both said they would try and get our request to move the election date for our school board November. We had submitted that last time, they didn't get to it. So they had said that likely the next long session, so probably not this short session,
Yeah,
but the
yeah, but
long
I-
session. Just want to keep that on the radar screen because we've made
Right.
formal requests, both the school board and the commissioners have.
I appreciate that, Commissioner, and I was not aware of that, but I'm going to make note of that now. So you're looking to move the date for the,
Yeah, the election, instead of having it a primary date, having it in the general election in November.
okay.
Yeah.
Is that for the Board of Ed? I mean, that's,
Or
Board of
the
Ed, yeah.
Education.
Board of Education.
And there was a resolution from both the school board and from these commissioners that went to both our senator and our representative last year.
okay. Thank you very much, and I will remind both of those gentlemen when I speak with them tomorrow.
Okay,
about that.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Mr. Steinberg, roughly from the 60 million that's going to be for the middle school, roughly what percentage would that be in NC lottery funds?
Well, there are all sorts of pots of money. There's the budget, and we try to make requests from the budget for funding for the various and sundry things, but there are other pots of money. Lottery, obviously, is one of them. And, that's got to be looked into. And right now, I mean, when I was meeting earlier with your chairman and the county manager, it seems to me that the easiest ask would be this session, knowing that everything goes out, would be to try and secure these funds for the HVAC system. And that's going to need to be done anyway when you start moving the schools around and so forth. So that money we're going to have money come from somewhere else. It won't come from the budget for a new school. As you recall, probably over the last 3 or 4 years here in northeastern North Carolina, we had a number of new schools that were built. And then things changed. The person that was really advocating for northeastern North Carolina as a superintendent, she did not prevail in the election. And so we'll have to see where the new superintendent takes us. But we're going to ask. Absolutely.
Have anything further? Any other questions?
No, I just wanted to, Mr. Steinberg, thank you for your hard work you're doing on behalf of the county and representing the county for the needs that we have. And as you can see by the laundry list that you have there, they are great here. So thank you.
You have a lot of needs, but you have great people here in the county. And I think Gates County is, in the next 3 to 5 years, I think you're going to see a completely different Gates County from a fiscal standpoint, with all the things that are going on in your neighboring county, and one that I'm not even able to talk about tonight because it hasn't been officially announced yet, but these counties that are surrounding Hertford County right now are really going to benefit tremendously from businesses that are going to be locating here, because the main company, both of these companies, are going to demand that their suppliers are within striking distance of the operation. So this is going to be good, very good. It's going to help you from a property tax standpoint, everything. It's going to be a good job.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your kind words, sir. Thank you very
Madam
much.
Chair,
Yes.
I just wanted to add, the list that Mr. Steinberg has presented is, I would say, very preliminary. And some of these items have not been discussed with the full board as yet. And I just wanted to remind everyone that that the board has gone on record with the town of Gatesville for citywide sewer as one of our priorities too, that we
Yes, that is
need to keep on our radar. But certainly in the coming budget work sessions, I think we'll have more
Right.
time to really dig into some of these
Right.
potential. And I wanted to touch on the fluoride. That is a ballpark figure that I provided because it's so early in the process with the pilot testing that's going on at the present time, that until we're able to evaluate what constituents the water may have to address, or the water treatment may have to address in addition to fluoride, we just don't know
Right.
what size or type of design the board may select.
Right.
And if I had that right, I did skip by that, and I apologize. Someone had mentioned this is the only unserved county seat in North Carolina is, with water and sewer.
And then also, just to put out there as well, like the request in there for school funding, those kind of things, that's in conjunction with the Board of Education. We're just putting it out there, if there's any funding, to let us know. This is not trying to circumvent the Board of Education. This is just saying, if you can let us know, we can let them know. We want to work together and moving forward for funding for the schools in whatever way we can, so.
Well, with you and me and the Board of Education, we're a team.
Right.
We're all working together
Right.
to do what we can to help
So,
Gates County.
right. All right, well,
All
thank you,
right.
sir.
Well, thank you very much, all.
Appreciate you.
Mr. Steinberg.
Thank you, good to see you. Thanks for running.
Thanks. It's your seat, I didn't get it.
All right. We're going to move down now. We have some special presentations, and first we have Mr. Chad Stevens with the Veteran Service Office. If I could ask him to come to the podium to provide grant funding updates to the board. And I think he has passed something out to each of our seats to.
Did everybody get one of these sheets? You did?
Did you get this?
I don't see that. All right, thanks.
All right. Put my eyes on. Good afternoon, Madam Chairman, county managers, commissioners, and attorney. I'm here today to brief you on the grant for 2026. I think you guys know last year we did get a grant last year also. We got $10,000 last year. Last year's grant, we upgraded the Veteran Service Office. We put new computers in. We put a TV monitor up where if a veteran comes in, he can actually, while I'm doing his claim, he can actually see me doing his paperwork. That saves me a lot of trouble with mistakes and stuff like that. And they love it. They can sit right there and watch me do their paperwork. So that's what we spent that on. We also got like first aid kits, stuff like that for the veterans. Each veteran come in with that first aid kits for their vehicles, emergency kits and stuff like that. This year's grant, the grant this year is $20,000. So we got $20,000 already in the budget. This year's grant is not a matching grant or anything. So all we got to do is spend the money. And I think we're on top of that. The county is good with helping me with that. We got $20,000. We're going to do a veterans event for the county, which means we're gonna advertise. There's gonna be some signs going up here short in the next week or so, and we want every veteran to come out so we can explain to them their benefits, their medical benefits, their compensation benefits. We want widows and children to come out so they'll know about pensions, so they'll know about educational benefits in those areas. If you look at your paper that I gave you, there's some stipulations to this grant. We have, in Part 2, Section 4, we have to June 30th to spend this money. So we got to jump right on top of it and get it going. I've already talked to Merchants Mill Pond. They're going to let me use that down there for an event. I've talked to the big VA up in Winston-Salem. They're going to send people down here to brief. My boss, she's going to be here, Jennifer Freeman. She's going to be down here helping out also. We've been doing having meetings every 2 weeks. So not only is Gates County going to get this event, the other counties are going to get them also. However, Gates County is the first one that's going to go through it. We got it planned for April the 25th at Merchants Mill Pond. The money has to be spent, like I said, the money has to be spent by June 30th, 2026. We can't get one extension. That extension gives us 30 days. So we will have, if we need an extension, then we can extend it to July 31st, 2026. If you look in your paperwork that I gave you, if you turn back, you'll see it says scope of work, Gates County, where I updated it in 2/9/2026. You'll see the scope of work. So the scope of work, what we're trying to do is just capture these veterans, the veterans in the county that has not identified themselves as veterans and are losing out on their benefits. We want to make sure every veteran get recognized and every veteran get the benefits that they deserve. If you turn the page, you'll see the budget summary for that. So we got, for venue and facilities, we got $4,500. We're gonna have to work with that because I think Merchants Mill Pond is gonna look out for the county, so I don't think we had to pay them too much. Catering, we got $4,500 for catering. Outreach and marketing, that's for the banners and flyers and all that. We got $4,500 for that. Equipment and technology rentals, $3,500. Vendor fees and service providers, $2,000, and supplies and materials, $1,000. So that's how we broke it down in the summary of work. Now, we can adjust this summary of work, just certain things that we can't do, that the state will not let us do. Like transportation, getting the veterans here, they won't let us do that. So we gotta advertise and early and make sure the veterans have a way to get here. They wouldn't let me spend any money on transportation getting them here. So my thought was to get some vans, and if a veteran couldn't get here, they could call and say, hey, I need a ride on that day, and we get the address and pick them up, but they won't let us do that. So,
Can, I have a, we have
Gets in the
GITS in the county. If there's some way to collaborate on that, we could, I mean, I think it's important that veterans be able to get there, and not all of them have transportation.
okay, we're running.
Sounds
So
like
let's
with
have a-
enough notice, we'll be able to plan
Let's
that
have
just
some
fine.
more conversation, I guess,
Okay,
about
we'll
that.
do that. Yes,
Okay.
sounds good. Sounds good to me. That's pretty much it for the budget. I gave you the paperwork. This is the actual contract that they gave us, and I gave you this because there's a lot of information in here that we can do and we can't do with that money. But I think it's going to benefit us, it'll benefit the veterans, and if we can get the veterans their benefits, then it'll benefit the county.
Officer Stevenson, I have
Yes,
a
sir.
question. This is exclusively for Gates County veterans, or,
Exclusive for Gates County veterans, that's right.
and the target date, you haven't established that yet. But have you established a target date for the event?
25th of April.
April 25th.
April 25th.
Yes.
Okay, excuse me. Thank you.
April 25th. And you said that will be at the Mill Pond?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right, make sure that's there. All right. I'm going to ask if any other board members have any comments or questions, but I do think, again, reach out to collaborate some and see if we can
I'll
help
stop
with
by.
transportation.
We talk. Okay.
Yeah.
Really appreciate everything,
All
Officer
right, we
Stevenson.
appreciate you. Thank
Yes, ma'am.
you.
No problem, no problem. Y'all have a great afternoon.
You as well. Thank
If
you.
you need me.
So you're a Navy veteran, I can see by your shirt.
No. All right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, our next presenter, Ms. Lola Roundtree. She's going to come up to present updates and current initiatives of the College of the Albemarle. I'm going to ask if she could come to the podium now.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, I am Lola Roundtree, and I have the honor of serving as one of the Gates County representatives on the Board of Trustees for College of the Albemarle. And I've been serving in this role since June 2024. Tonight, Dr. Badwell had planned to be here, but he had a scheduling conflict, so he's not able to be here. But this evening, I would just like to briefly share with you all some things that's happening at COA. The strong partnership between Gates County Schools and College of the Albemarle, how COA continues to expand workforce development opportunities for our students and our county, and highlight some of the program expansions and projects currently underway at COA. I'm proud to report that many of our high school students are taking advantage of career and college promise opportunities offered through College of the Albemarle. Through this partnership, students are able to take college-level courses while still enrolled in high school, giving them an opportunity to earn college credits, diplomas, certifications, and even associate degrees before they actually graduate from the high school. The results of this partnership are evident in the number of credits our students are earning. In the fall of 2024, Gates County students earned 543 college credits. In the spring of 2025, they earned 509 college credits. And during the summer of 2025 term, they earned 100 credits. And in fall 2025, they earned 492 college credits. These credits represent college courses that these students actually completed with passing grades. The variation in the numbers that I just quoted to you from semester to semester is largely due to the changes in our average daily membership, as well as the way students schedule their coursework. Fall enrollment is typically higher, especially at the junior level, because that's when students actually enter the program of the CCP pathway. We're also extremely proud of students who graduate from high school while completing an associate's degree, allowing them to enter into a four-year university as a junior. For Gates County students, that milestone has been achieved by 5 students in 2022 graduated with an associate degree, 4 students in June 2023, including 1 student who earned an associate's degree in general education with a focus in nursing, 8 students in June 2024, 2 students in June 2025. In addition to college degrees, students are also earning valuable workforce credentials. These include HVAC diplomas, Nurses Aid 1 and 2 certifications, basic welding certifications, air conditioning, heating, and refrigeration technology certifications and diplomas, and most recently, Gates County had a student who was the first to complete the commercial driver's license program through COA. Each of these credentials represent a direct pathway to employment and economic opportunity. Looking ahead, College of the Albemarle continue to invest in the future of healthcare, education, and workforce preparation across our region. Construction of the Regional Health Science Education Center remains on schedule for completion this summer. This new facility will add approximately 40,000 square feet dedicated to health science education, including a 3,500 square foot state-of-the-art simulation lab designed to train both students and healthcare professionals. With the opening of this new facility, nursing programs will expand significantly. The associate degree nursing program, your RNs, will increase enrollment capacity by approximately 25% in the fall of 2026. The practical nursing program, LPNs, has already expanded by 25% over the last 2 years and is expected to grow to an intake of 35 students, representing 46% overall program growth. Additional program opportunities will also include dental programs, massage therapy, and partnership pathways with other colleges for careers in radiology, technology, respiratory therapy, and physical therapy assistant programs. In addition, COA will launch a new applied associate in science degree in health science, creating even more pathways into the high demand of allied health careers. These opportunities matter. They matter for our students, they matter for our local workforce, and they matter for the future economic strength of our county. College of the Albemarle continues to open doors for students and adults alike, providing education, training, and real pathways to meaningful careers. And when our students succeed, our workforce grows stronger, our community grows stronger, and Gates County grows stronger. Thank you for your time this evening and for your continued support of College of the Albemarle. Any questions?
All right, thank you, ma'am. I'm going to open up for...
Yes, Ms. Roundtree, I really appreciate that data. And that data is essential. I hope the constituents will listen very carefully because I was just looking over the data last night. And for this reason, the demand for health care is large. So for students who have aspirations to get into the medical sector, do it. Get your training, get your certification, whatever you need to do because there are opportunities in the area of healthcare in that particular sector. Also, she spoke about welding. I heard that. Well, we all heard the announcement. We all know what's happening over in Hereford County with U.S. Forged Rings. It's going to be hiring 625 people for their, operation. Welding is going to be key because they're going to be manufacturing tubular piping and things of that nature. So constituents, that's an opportunity on the rise. Make sure you get your necessary training, take advantage of any opportunities at COA or wherever you're getting your education to prepare yourself, to prepare our students for the future. That workforce development is big. Thank you so much for that data.
Yeah, thank you. I'll ask the others. Do you have any comments or questions?
Thank you, Ms. Lowell. I appreciate you coming up here and giving your report tonight. So thank you very much. And I also want to reiterate your comments, is Mr. Roundtree, as far as being out there, getting engaged, having the youth of this county understanding that there is a path forward in the trades and how important that is for just this whole economic area that we have. Even with my own company, we have a definite shortage of the trades, and you are able to make a very good living as a tradesman. And I would to encourage any of the young kids to, if you don't have to go to college. One of my own boys decided not to go to college, and it's a very good thing to get out in the trades, learn to be a trades craftsman, and I want to encourage the kids to do that. So thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely agree. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. We're now going to ask the Chair of the Board of Education, Mr. Byram, if he could come up to the podium and provide an update on the elementary school consolidation.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, fellow commissioners, Mr. Sauer and Mr. Godwin.
Good evening.
Thank y'all for asking me to come out to give you an update of the consolidation process. We met last night, and it was a 2-for-1 vote to keep Gatesville open and 1 to keep Buckland open and close Gatesville School. It was a difficult decision. It was not a personal decision. It was simply a business decision that had to be made. We are reducing our enrollment. We're predicted to lose 50 more students for the 26-27 year, and that is going to take a significant impact on our financial records. We also, our exceptional children's area is growing by leaps and bounds. The federal is not coming up with the same amount of money that's required for the cost that we have. So therefore, we have to use some of the county monies to fund those needs that are there. I will tell you that there is a lot of rumor out there as to why we only had 3 people at our meeting. Mr. Riddick sent me a letter stating that he was going to resign for personal reasons, and I respect him for that, and our board is going to respect him for that. The Ewa district, I respect Ms. Legg for her decision because she wanted to have a certification that, yes, I did win the election. That certification is not going to take place until March the 25th by the state. The county has already sent the records to the state, but that is not the official certification, and we have to wait for that. We did ask her if she wanted to join. Our policy does state that we can appoint someone, and she chose not to do that, and I respect her for that. I was the only one who voted to keep Buckland open, and Ms. Ryan and Mrs. Riddick were there for closing Buckland and keeping Gatesville open. I know that Mr. Steinberg mentioned that the geothermal unit needs to be replaced. We are going to begin to write some successful grants to obtain the money. It's over $3 million to replace that system to a better type system. Yes, the geothermal was economical, but over the years, the piping has deteriorated, and I want us to work diligently together on that to get the fundings for that, because that creates the environment, the heat and air conditioning for our students. I did not use the geothermal in my decision. I looked at the wastewater because it's my understanding that this summer that Gatesville will start the sewage process, putting in sewer lines. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But, and I know that's a priority for the commissioners. I do see that there's going to be some additional cost to connect to the sewage system and to work with the wastewater, because Gatesville School does have wastewater management. And we're going to work on that too, to get cost to that. It was mentioned that they did not feel like we had a quorum, but according to the Robert's Rules of Order and our policy, it states that anytime that you have 3 out of the 5 that are present, it is a majority. I can't change the law. I know that it was hurtful to some of the people. It was not the intention to hurt our employees, our families, our students. It was simply a business decision. Also, at the last meeting, regular meeting, it was mentioned about that Dr. Williams had written a grant for over $40 million for an elementary school. I don't know why all the signatures were not done and it was not submitted. I can't answer that. I'm being honest. But I understand that Mr. Sauer asked for a public request, which it is a public document, and it has to be released. And I'm hoping that that was given to you today.
Yes, we had it
Right,
received.
okay. Don't know why Ms. Ryan gave it to you, but I can't answer that either, too. But she did give it to you, right?
She brought it just before noon, I believe.
Right, okay. I do have one question, and maybe I misheard it. My hearing is going. I do have hearing aids, but I've lost them. But did I understand that the commissioners were looking for resources for a middle school versus an elementary school? Which is it?
So the thought right now that we have, and we can continue this discussion, is that that a new middle school will be built across the road from the high school, so
Middle
that
school.
way
Okay.
you can share resources and continue to further reduce your operating costs between the two schools.
Right.
And then the middle school would be renovated to better
Okay.
suit a elementary school.
All right. Now, keep in mind that the cost to build a middle school is going to be more than it would to be an elementary school.
Right.
And keep in mind, too, that it's not going to be done overnight. The process needs to start together. And we, as the Board of Education, need to give you some artifacts and resources as to why this is needed for Gates County school system. And I feel like that the Board of Education and the commissioners need to come together as a team, and we all work diligently to see what's in the best interest of our students. Keep in mind the general statute states that we are to provide a basic education to every child. And I want us to work together as a team. And I'm here to answer any questions. I have given out information today, and I will continue to give out information. And you also will need to acquire land if land is needed. You will have to have the grant approved, and you will have to get a contractor. Contractors doesn't want to seem to come to Gates County because of the demographics of it. And the cost is going to be a little bit more because they're having to come here and use funding for transportation costs. And I understand that, I really do. But I'm looking forward to us working together. I'm thankful that all the work that y'all have done. The last thing that I would like to say is that we have 5 schools right now, and of those 5 schools, there's only 1 school deeded as the Gates County Board of Education. And the other 4 are deeded as Gates County. It is not your fault because I have gone back and researched it. It was done years and years ago, okay? That the finances, that the release forms were done. It just simply got a victim of a crack. And I'm asking that we go back and reevaluate that situation together as a board and also the commissioners too. And I said one thing, it's 2 things. We did sign a resolution last night that we would like to keep Buckland School as an educational purpose still, because we are really looking for funding for early college and also the workforce and career technical world. There are more workforce and technical things that can be brought to Gates County and our students can succeed. And as Mr. Berman said, the trade world, those employees do make really good compensation. And we also are looking at other things. But as soon as I get all the signatures, it's myself, Ms. Ryan, myself, and Dr. Williams, I will forward it to Ms. Draper so that you will be able to go over and read it, okay?
We appreciate that. I just want to say before I ask for comments for them, we do greatly appreciate, I know that there's a lot of feedback right now on the vote last night. I know it is incredibly difficult to make some of these decisions. I know I've had to make hard decisions sitting over there myself. It's not easy. It is appreciated that you followed through with your duty as elected. Also, as far as things go with the schools, absolutely want to work forward. When we're talking with the lobbyists, we're throwing out ideas to him. We know this is a long-term thing. This is to be in conjunction with you all, not us working outside of you all. But when he asked, what do we need money for? We're throwing out everything we need money for.
Right.
So we do look forward to those conversations, look forward to, which I will apologize now, I will not be able to attend the work session next Wednesday, but Vice Chair will be heading that up. I look forward to viewing it, having the information come in for that work session. I'm sure that a lot of this that you have just brought up will be part of the discussion next week. So I'm going to open it up then for questions and comments from the rest of the board.
I would only say, and Brian, if you want to go first, you can, but,
no, sir.
yeah, but as far as, I appreciate all the hard work. It's been a lot of effort that the school boards had to go through to pull forth all the data that's required by the state as you go through this process. I know it's been a long process and a very arduous one at that. And so, you know, at this point in time, I would say that we appreciate you going ahead and making a decision, moving forward. We don't want, you know, families and employees of the school systems to be in limbo. That's the worst thing to have is when you're in limbo for something like that. You need to rip the Band-Aid off and move on. And so we completely support the school board's decision with this, and we look forward to continue to working together as we continue to grow Gates County and you know, continue to educate our children the way y'all have. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Roundtree, Mr. Forsythe.
Yes, Chairman Barham. The Gates District, my district, and there's a vacancy. What timetable will this seat be filled? Because my constituents, they want representation. I want representation, and we want it to be expedited. I know the board had the power, the pleasure to appoint. How soon would this be?
We are going to meet, I think March the 25th, we're going to meet with commissioners from 1 to 4, and then we're going to have a meeting, a special call meeting on March the 25th at 6 p.m., and we are going to appoint Mrs. Legg and swear her in, and she will take her oath. And then after she's sworn in, then we will talk about the appointment for the remaining unexpired term for Mr. Riddick that very night. So it's been a difficult decision. I would like to add this. The board has been inundated by our employees to give us an answer. And we felt like we could not put it off because that was additional trauma and turmoil to them, and we felt like we owed it to our employees. That's why the decision was made last night versus putting it off additional week, because the decision at the March 9th meeting, it was a 2-2 tie. So we have to respect one another, we have to work together, we have to agree to disagree, and we work as a team.
Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Forsythe.
Given everything that's already been said, I do think it's important that we work together. The $40 million, just so you know, that wasn't something I'm aware of, but at the same time, trying to get the ball moving towards getting funding. I mean, I personally would support a centralized facility, which is even more complex. It would require even more coordination between the school board and the commissioners supporting ideas y'all come up with. So I hope y'all are working on that, or going to be working on that shortly.
We
to come
are.
up with a long-term
Right.
plan that we can hopefully buy into pretty readily to support you in getting the money needed to provide the stuff that we
Right.
need for our students. I do acknowledge very much, my wife's a school teacher at T.S. Cooper. She's been stressed out along with coworkers, so it's not just been the two schools in consideration, but all the school board employees have all been stressed out over it. And so this is a tough time for folks and dragging it out. I actually appreciate and condone y'all for going ahead and making a hard decision, whether you agree with it or not, supporting the decision that's made now and trying to ease the problems and the adjustment for everybody, because it's going to be one for everybody, students, parents, teachers, principals, et cetera. So I hope this is a sign of, change coming to the community, but also the school board embracing the change. You're going to have a lot of change with new members, and it's going to bring a lot more change, I think, for y'all, and I think that's a good thing. It's painful. We're all naturally don't like change, so I actually appreciate very much the change that y'all are helping to lead the way on. And the study that came out, I guess this is consistent decision with what the study said from the start,
Right.
if I'm not mistaken. So I think that's a good thing, and that was probably a wise investment to shore up the decision that was made. So I appreciate that. Like Commissioner Roundtree said, I think getting the replacement for Board Member Riddick is a good thing, and I do like the approach y'all are having where you go ahead and you'd made the decision to bring Ms. Legg on right away and then getting her to help y'all with moving forward. That's a smart move. I think,
Right.
again, shows signs that y'all guys are trying
Right.
very hard to make a positive change and show the public you're trying to do what's right, and I appreciate that. On a personal note, for myself and my wife, but also for kids, people out there. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Forsythe. I can tell you that your wife is an excellent teacher. As a board member, I probably know 95% of all the employees out of the approximately 350 employees. But I have a lot of resources out there, and I have excellent resources, and I can tell your wife is an excellent
Thank
teacher.
you, thank you.
I
I'll
really
pass that along
can.
to her. Thank you.
So, and I hope she didn't have to worry about it. So,
All right, well, thank you again, and we appreciate it, you coming out and sharing, appreciate y'all's vote, and look forward to working with you guys next week.
right,
So,
absolutely. So, and I would like for us to work together. If it is a middle school that you
Yeah,
would
and that-
prefer, but I think that we need to furnish you the data.
And that can be had at a work session
Right.
conversation. Yeah, those are
Absolutely.
just very preliminary
Right.
ideas, but we can definitely flesh that out more in the work session.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so Sheriff Campbell has advised he does not have anything for the agenda tonight here, so we're going to move along to public comments.
No arrests, huh?
Right, let's see. All right. Where am I at?
Hello, my name is Kelly Turner of Gates. I just wanted to touch on the clerk's, county manager's updates. I know that you guys received another application for the Animal Advisory Board. I know that there's only one position left. I don't know how many applicants you got, but I just wanted to give my recommendation for Hope Spencer. I've been to her farm specifically. She's got 2 horses. They've got plenty of space, a really nice walk-in area. She's got dogs. She's got meat rabbits, and it's just all very nicely laid out, very clean. She's got experience in animal rescue, rehabilitation, and animal shelters. She's also a Navy vet, and she's worked at the same place for 15 years. So she's dedicated to citizens, and I just think that she'd be a really good fit.
All right, I appreciate it,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, is that the only, okay. All right. Moving along here. All right, so we're moving into old business. We have Planning Economic Development. We're going to ask if Ms. Lisa Cherry, with Planning and Economic Development Director, could come to the podium and give updates on that department.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioners, County Attorney, Clerk to the Board, County Manager. Make sure I get this right. We've got a pretty, yes, I'm ready. I sure am. I'm ready to go. Well, bless you. A while back, we had someone make a suggestion for some signage for Gates County, if you remember. And we've taken a look at that, and we've done an assessment of existing and proposed updated gateway signage for Gates County. The welcome signs has shown visible aging, including faded text or removed over time due to road projects, which we had at the Chowan Gates County line. That they built the bridge there and expanded that. And we found, going through historical pictures, that that sign was there. It was definitely there. And it was removed due to the road project itself. Now, I'm going to go back and forth for a minute. If I can click right, I have to turn it on. All right. See if we can get it to go. Yeah. So now, thanks to Mr. Featherstone with NCDOT last month, he replaced a brand-new sign at the bridge, and it has been widened since then. So you can see that now we have the signage indicating when you leave Chowan County, coming into Gates County. So that looks really good, and we're thankful for that. So I'm going to go back. And the reason we are looking at this as well is the branding and style inconsistency. The sign's older. Branding no longer aligns with current county identity and differs from neighboring signage styles. The impact on visitor perception as well, especially when we're in the, 250-year anniversary. So we definitely want to catch those visitors. And we have the Mill Pond with 200,000 plus visitors a year, I hear. So that's really something we wanted to focus on. So it's been inconsistent and weak. The first impression for visitors entering Gates County on North Carolina 32 was specifically mentioned. And the need for signage updates. Evaluating the sign's condition supports justification for replacement or redesign as part of the gateway improvements. So we took a look, and we're just going to go back. And you can see we've even got the existing North Carolina 32 in Core Peak. Now that's a state. It's a state. When you're leaving Virginia, you're coming in to North Carolina. That's something that we really can't do, and they actually designed that. So we're going to have to leave that the way it is. It's a flag. It's welcome to North Carolina. And they're a little different too, and you'll see that in our next slide. Then we've got 158 and another one in Core Peak at the top. They do have a Gates County sign, and again, the state sign itself, but again, they have to do that when it's a state border. But the existing 158 Pasquotank County line sign, you can see that was there. As we know, that's under construction right now. So that has been removed. We've got existing US 13 as it is right now. There is no sign. And wow, we've got a lot going on coming at the Winton Bridge there, as we know that as well. And then that was the sign before. We had a sign that said, welcome to Gates County, home of Merchants Mill Pond. And then below that, we've got US 13. That's, again, a Virginia, North Carolina border sign. And it's, hey, welcome to the state that loves their veterans. We're not going to touch that. That's all them. And then, but they have added a Gates County sign to that, welcome to Gates County, at the bottom. And again, that's their design. But here is our proposed gateway sign, if you approve tonight, Commissioners. And it's a 48-inch by 24-inch sign. And we have, of course, the home of Merchants Mill Pond State Park would be added. So, do you like that? Do you like it? Okay? With the Gates County seal?
I do like the Gates County seal, a little Gates County pride there.
Right,
Proud
right.
North Carolinians, but
Yeah,
specifically
so we
Gates
thought that
County.
was something unique and would look really good and introduce Gates County to visitors. It would really be good as a gateway sign for Gates
Well,
County.
Can I just ask, why, does it have to be green? I
It
just
has
feel
to,
like
it
Yeah,
has to be.
green.
It's a guide sign,
A
so
guide
it's a
sign.
FHWA requirement. Yeah, it is.
So the towns don't have the same requirement? Because I know it's like Hertford has great big ones, and theirs like have blue and black colors on theirs going into the town of Hertford.
They can do some gateway signing as long as they maintain that, but for our roadway signs, it has to be a guide sign.
I would say, I think
that
it's the
they
difference on
post.
how it's posted, like the ones on the roadway signs with the steel pole, wood
Yeah,
poles,
they
that kind
have
of
great
thing.
big ones there right
versus-
on, what is it?
I'm gonna have to pay more attention as I
Yeah,
drive.
that's probably an entry feature sign
Yeah,
in
they're really
addition to
nice. I
these.
mean, they're really big and they definitely catch your eye.
Now, you
Okay.
said it's a town of Hertford?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is it different from municipalities than counties?
Probably so. As an entry feature itself, you can probably design those and have your land
Okay.
as far as
I'm
your
good.
own. So yeah, that's a guide sign. And what we've done is we have engaged with the Department of Corrections. They are really wonderful. I did not know that they made signs. So that was something I learned. Mr. Featherstone, again, with NCDOT, helped us with that. I was really thankful to him. And a wonderful quote for 6 signs. So we have basically 3 locations from a county to county perspective. Again, the state borders, it's a little different. But I have had a quote from them for 6 signs for the 48 by 24-inch sign, as a gateway sign. And that was something initial. Actually, I ordered some extras because we're responsible for the maintenance of those. So it's a great price for that. We can also go for different sizes on some of the back roads if you'd like to take a look at that. I was thinking about Belvedere, everybody loves to go to Layton's. I know I love to go to Layton's, so Chowan, going down 37, maybe we'd like to put a sign there. It's pretty busy, there's a high traffic count there. So we received a quote for $1,107.84 for 6 of those signs, which is really good. And Mr. Featherstone has indicated, I know on 32, that they will install that. So that's a big help as well. As far as installing the others, based upon your approval of that beautiful sign.
Yes, I really love the sign, and I love it plays on our strength, the Merchant Mill Pond State Park. We're fortunate to have a state park
Yes, we
in the
are.
county,
We are.
which generates 150,000 tourists annually, which is going to help revenue for the county. And it's beautiful, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, and the sign exemplifies just that, and
You good with that? Yeah.
I really thank you, Ms. Sherry. Thank you so
Well,
much.
thank you,
It
thank
looks
you.
good, yeah.
Well, we've got some more updates. We're going to keep
Okay.
on if you don't mind, real quick. For economic development, we're going to move on. As in February, we attended, as you heard from our lobbyist, Mr. Steinberg, and as you've mentioned, we attended the Green Lantern announcement in Hertford County, and you'll see that USFR, which is the Ford's Rings, one-stop shop. So we got some information about that and what they serve. Energy and infrastructure, nuclear, defense and aerospace, offshore and structural. We plan on having someone to visit us that'll give you more information and background on that. So we just thought this would be great to show you tonight and just a little bit of more information. We had their press release. One of their main focuses is Made in the USA. That's great. We thought that was wonderful. $875 million investment. As you said, the jobs created, $80,000 a year. It's great. And it will be spilling over into Gates County. We've already gotten some phone calls, so that will happen. So then, our next thing that happened in March, the Port of Virginia, which kind of segued into that same, the U.S. Ford's Rings. We did that last week. And a lot of representatives from that, other things that will be going on across the river. Serco was there, which works with the military. They focused on the welding. They are looking for welders. They gave us a site which we'll share with everyone. 10,000 jobs a day are posted. I was just amazed at that. And the College of the Albemarle had a representative there. U.S. Department of Commerce, North Carolina Department of Commerce. It was just so many things going on. So, and I was also amazed to learn that the port, used to offer tax incentives, but now they offer grants. In North Carolina, out of 5 different grants, North Carolina businesses and manufacturers are eligible for 3 of those grants. Some of them are based on your container units, employees and jobs you create. So I thought that was really good for businesses that would really like to come to Gates County possibly, and it's just another incentive that we can offer and share with them. This is a map of some of the businesses in eastern North Carolina that the port serves, and Nucor's up there, Mount Olive Pickles, Daymart, Thermo Fisher. So their reach is 250 miles that they'll truck to that port. So North Carolina is definitely serves. So we thought this would be a good map to share that they were able to share with us. So here's some pictures. Thought that was beautiful. Just all the containers sitting there, and they showed us a lot of good information. And the last picture there that I thought was great that they shared with that is the largest naval facility in the world. God bless America. So that's all I've got to share tonight.
All right. Well, thank you. Yes,
You're
that
welcome.
was great. Do we have any comments or questions from the board?
And one more thing. They offered to give you all a tour of the port, if you'd ever like to do that, the same thing, and offer a lot of that information. And
I think we all have a yes. We're over here nodding. We like tours.
yeah, it was definitely very informational. So Aaron said, just let us know, and they'll set that up for you.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right.
Madam Chair, would it be appropriate to have a motion to approve the new signage? So
That's what I was actually
part of
about to
our
ask. I
corporate-
was going to say, did we need, I was going to reference the clerk, did we need to make a motion to approve that signage tonight as presented for the 6 signs at 1,107.84? Or any discussion on it? So I'll leave it to y'all.
I make a
have-
motion to approve the signs as presented.
Okay.
Second.
And second, do we have any discussion?
I just want to say, I think at some point, we really ought to consider some bigger signs. I agree the constraints of these, and I like it,
Yeah.
okay? But I really do think, especially like the corridor by where Merchants Mill Pond is and all, I've had friends that have come through and said, don't you live in Gates County? I'm like, yeah. He said, isn't Merchants Mill Pond along there? I drove along 158. I'm like, yeah, you drove right past it. And I feel like bigger signs in some
okay.
places wouldn't hurt, but these are great.
So there we go. Great start then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially for the price.
Yeah.
Well, and we had suggested that there was a grant for $15,000 provided by North Carolina Northeast that we were going to apply these funds to.
Yeah.
So if you'd like us to look at some larger signage and try to utilize those funds, we'd be happy to put together another.
That'd be
All right,
great.
is that consensus?
I would like
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too. I like-
Yeah.
Sounds good. Market ourselves a little bit there.
Most definitely.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor and seconded. We've had discussion. We'll call for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you. All right, we do have on the old business Board of Education follow-up discussion. I don't know that we need to continue with follow-up discussion, but if anybody did have anything to the table, we can bring that. Okay. So we will move along then to new business. Ooh. And first on new business, we have budget amendments. I'm going to turn it over to Manager Sauer.
Thank you. I'll run through these individually, and then if you would entertain possibly a motion to take them in a batch, that'd be great. F-26-026 is $3,000 additional revenue that was received for Drainage District 4. F-26-027 is $4,000 for payment to the Business Personal Property Auditor for their successful work the last quarter. F-26-028 is $4,327. This will be an increase to the Sheriff's Fund for forfeitures, donations, and substance abuse excise tax. F-26-029 is $1,117 received by Emergency Management through a grant that's put together through the Virginia Emergency Management for radiological emergency preparedness, and this is related to the Surrey Nuclear Power Plant. F-26-030 is the $20,000 that Mr. Chad Stevens mentioned to receive that. F-26-031 is $418.78 so that we can allocate the interest that was earned on the FY24 grant that was part of the sheriff's grant from the General Assembly a couple years ago. We need to, the money's been spent, we just need to pull the interest out and make sure it's applied to that grant. F26032 is $5,000 in the form of a grant that Social Services has received from Blue Cross Blue Shield. And last, F26033 is $5,000 appropriated fund balance for the Kids First program that the board received and voted on last week, so this puts it in place. And that's all we have.
All right, so if we have any questions before we ask for a vote? Any clarification? No? And if not, if we could get a motion to approve the budget amendments as presented?
I'll make the motion.
All right. We have a motion on the floor.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. If there's no discussion, if we could call for a vote, all in favor? Okay, and that is unanimous. Thank you.
Can I just
Yeah.
ask the questions? For the Kids First thing we talked about,
Yeah.
we agreed to 5,000.
Yes.
If we ask Mr. Smith to talk about, I guess, us trying to provide them more, the 100 and whatever it was, $60,000 in work they've done for us, we were the only county not contributing. Have we asked him for our budget work process to address that?
I will.
Well,
Yes, we did.
I will
in
say-
speaking with the
Did we?
director who was here, it seems like there was a void or a breakdown in communication. Apparently, some of their correspondence requesting those monies were annually sent to home addresses for county commissioners, and probably got
Okay.
into the round file over those years.
Well, we
But-
figured that out.
But we have no and she now is going to be making an annual
Okay.
request, and we'll have that dialed into your
Good to
next
know.
work
Thank you.
session.
Thank
Good
you.
question.
But we did speak right after your meeting last time.
I believe it's going to be through Mr. Willie Smith, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It'll be through
And,
him.
when that-
Okay.
How they were going to do that?
that's what,
I didn't understand.
They
that.
were going to make the request through
social services.
social services.
Well, and I actually suggested she send it to me as budget officer,
Okay.
so that we can set that up. I
So
just
long
don't
as we know it's being received and
Yeah,
being
I mean,
looked for.
she seemed very appreciative of the board's effort on this.
Good. All right, well, thank you. And so we'll move into the report and updates from the clerk.
All right. Good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Thank you. The first thing, if we could address, is Citizen Advisory Board applications. My memo, my memo has the name and district of the Community Advisory Board applications that we have received. The first four are for the Animal Services Advisory Board, and then the last one is Timothy Ray Williams for the Planning Board. He has been recommended by Ms. Cherry. So we actually need we have only one vacant seat for the Animal Services Advisory Board, and there's actually one vacant seat for the Planning Board, so.
I'm going to say I'm so excited that we have a board that has more applicants than we have seats for. That is incredibly encouraging. And I guess because of the differences there, we're going to need to take these separately then, because we do have to have some discussion about the Animal Advisory Board. We do have the four, and I'm just going to read these out for the purpose of those listening. We have William Ostrander from Eure, Jody Sawyer of Hobbsville, Hope Marie Spencer of Gates, and Loretta Whitehurst of Gates. And currently, just to advise the makeup of the board, as already inducted, we have Kristen Black and J.B. Riddick of Sunbury. We have Thomas Roderick Wiggins of Hobbsville, Bracy Perry of Eure, James Roundtree Jr. of Gatesville, Connie Barnes, George Earl Preedy IV, and Kelly Turner of Gates. So all districts are thankfully represented at this point. We will open it up for conversation with the board and suggestions.
Without saying anything more, we've had one person spoke, somebody took the time to come here and speak on behalf of somebody. I'm inclined to lean towards that person if no other information is provided.
I do agree with that. My only hesitation there is we've tried to keep things dispersed, and we have 3 representatives of the seats that are there that are Gates representatives, and that'll be very Gates heavy versus the other district. So that's just something we've tried to be aware of in the past that I wanted to call to attention.
And I think at this point in time that the Hosel district is of the ones that had at this point in time put their applicants in, the Hosel district is the only one that's not a Gates. It kind of looks like through there. So
Not engaged
We
right now?
have-
yeah.
They got a Hobbsville person.
We have a Yor and a Hobsville and 2 Gates up
Oh,
here.
excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't see the Euro one
Yeah.
earlier, so I was thinking it was Gates. So. But
And
that's where I'm at as far as the Hosel.
I did make a note that I put them in and they are in the order that I received them on this memo.
Okay. All right, so we'll look for, like I said, conversation, or if we have a motion for anyone in particular. And all of their applications are attached if you need to read through any more. So, number
Let's see.
of-
One's a retiree.
So. I mean, and they all have, just to put out there again publicly, different qualifications. We have, active homesteader, various types of livestock, animal advocates. We have dog owners, chickens, pigs. So we have an array of animal representation. Indoor dogs, snakes, horses, rabbits. So, yeah.
Madam Chair, my take on it is, my take on it is similar to yours. I think we should try to balance all the districts. So, as close as possible, equal representation, so it won't be heavy or weighted in a particular district.
I would like to make a motion to appoint Jody Sawyer to the Gates County Animal Services Advisory Committee. Board.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second for Jody Sawyer of the Hobsville District. Do we have any conversation or discussion necessary for that? No? All right, we will call for a vote then for Jody Sawyer of Hobsville. All in favor by show of hands? Okay. And all opposed? Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we
And
will
then
have
planning
that.
board.
And then they have, moving down, we have the planning board. We have Timothy Ray Williams of Gates. He is the only applicant for that seat. And this will make another full board, which is,
Yes.
again, exciting to have a full board. And I want to add for that animal part, if anybody should step down, we can hold these other applicants as first choice
We
to
hold-
come in should somebody not serve in there.
Oh, yeah.
Per
Okay.
policy, we hold for
We-
a year.
Okay. Because I think they all 4 were great applicants.
Yes.
All right, so for Mr. Williams, do we have any discussion or conversation on that, or can we get a motion to approve him?
I'll motion approve.
Seconded.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of Mr. Williams for the planning board? That is unanimous. Okay.
Okay, I do have
And she has a presentation for us.
presentation. I did want, before I started, I wanted to publicly thank Ms. Kay Barker, Ms. Linda Hoffler, and Mr. Sam Solomon. They have greatly helped the clerk's office this week, so I just felt it was important to recognize them publicly. March 6th, beginning of this month, I attended the Working with the Citizen Advisory Boards course at the School of Government. That was a long time coming. Last time I had a conflict, then Madam Chair, she was going to take it. She had a conflict, so we have got this under our belt, and it was very insightful. It was an all-day course, and I'm looking forward to bringing the knowledge and resources that I gained to the Gates County cabs. Upcoming, March 25th, as it's already previously been discussed, we'll have a work session with the Board of Education. We will host that here to discuss public education matters, long-term facility needs, and the fiscal year 26-27 budget. And this notice, I will have it posted by the week end. March 26th, the next day, the Thursday, we will interview the board's collaborative top 5 candidates that were submitted for the RFQs that were submitted for the new community center and senior center. I will be publishing a notice of possible quorum. It will not be an official meeting, but since we may have quorum, I will publish that soon. There is a packet that I've provided to you all at your seat. So please let me know if you have any questions or need anything additional in order to prepare for the interviews. And additionally, I just ask that y'all arrive no later than 8:45 so we can discuss the format of the interviews. April 1st and 8th, we will have budget work sessions. They will begin at 9 a.m. across the street at the extension office. We have gotten confirmation that we'll use the aisle, so we will record that and publish that on our website. Later, it will not be streamed live. And I notice for that will be forthcoming for the public. County offices will be closed April 3rd in observance of Good Friday. April 9th is our next lecture series, and the A250 committee has lined up Trevor Darden as the presenter in April. So just marketing, be on the lookout for an additional flyer coming out for that. There's a Letterland event that the Gates County Public Schools and Merchants Mill Pond State Park are presenting. This event is called Letterland Conservation is Revolutionary. As you all know, we had these pocket constitutions made up, and we are asking that commissioners come to a station. The Mill Pond will have a station for us in conjunction with the Letterland event, and this actually is only for grades K through 2, countywide, and more information will be forthcoming for distribution of grades 3 through 12 because logistics are still underway for that. April 15th, just a recap or pre-cap for that day. The board, we will have ag tours in the morning that will be hosted by Paul Smith. A joint meeting with the Board of Education is scheduled for 4 p.m. That was the deadline y'all had given them to present their budget for fiscal year 26-27. Board of E&R meeting will be at 5:30, and then the regular scheduled meeting will be at 6 p.m. that day. Jumping way ahead to May, the A250 lecture series presenter for this month will be Bert Davis. He'll be sharing the influence of Elsie Riddick, that there was the suffrage movement, in NC and beyond. And just as a reminder, we have secured presenters for the rest of the year. The A250 committee has secured the presenters. We are still working on a few details before we publish a full list to the media and the public, but that will be available soon. And also, it's the second Thursday of each month right here in the Commissioners' Chambers. The only month that will differentiate from the schedule is November. We will actually be teaming up with the Historical Society, so it will be on November 11th in November. May 20th, excuse me, Board of Commissioners will host a joint meeting. This is new, this is brand new today, with the town of Gatesville to discuss matters within the town and county alike. There's also going to be a presentation from the NCDOT. They will have 3 members that will be here to make a presentation at the beginning of the meeting. And then that afternoon, we'll have another Board of E&R meeting prior to our regular scheduled 6 p.m. meeting. Y'all have probably already seen the email that the registration is now open for County Advocacy Days. If y'all would like to go, please let me know. I'll sign you up. And then jumping way ahead to summertime, The 119th Annual NCACC Conference will be held in Durham County this year, August 20th through 22nd. Registration has not opened yet for this event, but if you would like to go, just let me know, and I'll have your name down when registration is open. In conjunction with that, the regular scheduled meeting is scheduled for August 19th, and due to the anticipated attendance to this conference, I am asking for consideration from the board to move the meeting, the August 19th meeting, from the 19th to the 26th. We did, y'all did entertain that motion last year. And lastly, I have sent all civic groups that I'm aware of in the county a letter of acknowledgement and support. And I also sent out letters. I made an executive decision and sent out letters to the volunteer fire departments too, because we are very, very thankful for them. And that's all I have, unless y'all have any questions.
Nope, thank you. I think that's awesome. The dates are great. I do want to circle back to the August meeting. Last year as well, the conference overlapped with when our meeting would have been. We opted to move to the week following so that we could bring back information from the conference to the county. And so the suggestion this year is that we vote to move the August meeting to August 26th to allow for the same. If we can get a motion for that, or if there's any discussion to say otherwise.
So moved.
Second.
All right. If there's any discussion?
No, I'm just, yeah, I mean, do we need to make this decision this far in advance? You think it's?
I think on the calendars, people look ahead just for.
I could do a special, not a special notice, but a special flyer.
The only concern I have is that I have no idea what my schedule will be like then. But I guess if I'm the only person that can't make the 26th, so be it. Yeah, I don't really know. I just feel like this far in advance, it's impossible to guess.
Okay.
But it's okay. No reason not to go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll call to a vote. All in favor of the August 26th? And that is unanimous. Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to County Manager report and updates. So Manager Sauer.
Thank you. This week, we finalized the application for replacement ambulances in support of the Gates County Rescue and EMS. This opportunity was brought to our attention through the office of Representative Davis. The application is for $1,050,000 for 3 replacement ambulances at $350 each. This money, if it's approved, would come through USDA Rural Development. I've been told by the state office that Gates County would qualify for a 75% grant of that $1,050,000. So we'd be looking at potentially $250,000 of local money. Decision doesn't have to be made today. The grant can be turned down. And based on the dialogue we've had with USDA, it really sounds like they may want to try to phase this implementation in, if it were to be approved for the entire amount, over several years. Stormy Butts with Gates Rescue seemed very willing to work with that and very appreciative of the board's effort. And all we can do is hope for the best. But it seems that the USDA Rural Development Program really has a focus right now on emergency services and fire. So the folks that have been calling us have been very, very diligent, making sure that Gates County's got a very complete package. I want to highlight the board's resolution that was on the consent agenda with the resolution for the authority, or the tentative award. This will be sent tomorrow up to DEQ through their Division of Water Infrastructure. We anticipate that we will receive the approval, which will come in the form of a letter with the authority to award by May 8th. We hope that will move us forward so that documents can be sent to TA11 for review and execution. We look to hopefully have a pre-construction conference by the 1st of June, begin construction June 11th, and there's a 300-day anticipated construction, which sounds very conservative according to the engineers. But right now, the target date, if you're asked, would be completion on April 7th, 2027. And was mentioned, that's the 2 directional bores and the 2 larger water line extensions that run basically from Merchants Commerce Center out toward Ashton Lewis. The next cycle that may come before you will be the forced main sewer lines to the Buckland School property, the T.S. Cooper School, and the rehab for the wastewater treatment plant on Honey Pot Road. Those are all projects that involve a loan and grant combination, and those will have to be reviewed by the local government commission with action by the local government commission, and they will not review the package until we have bids in place so that we can demonstrate that our projects came in within budget. It's likely that we could be at the June or July meeting for that review and approval. And that's all I have.
All right, well, thank you, sir. Do we have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I appreciate you spelling out that what's being considered. How much was the dollar amount? 3 million?
$3,560,000.
That's for the 4 water line projects for public consumption, though, directional drills, everything is going to hopefully improve water quality across the board. I appreciate that. The other thing, though, is I think, I'm not wanting to bring the discussion up now, but I think we need to discuss with the closing of Buckland School, the potential impacts to our sewer line project that was slated to go there. We don't have to have that discussion now, but I think at some point we should have that discussion openly, talk about it. If the grant was given in part was justified via a school and supporting a school, and the school's no longer there, we need to take a look at that. So,
Okay. Noted. Thank you.
That's valid, and maybe we could take that up as early as the 25th, maybe?
yeah.
I guess is that a week from today?
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? No? Okay. We're getting ready to move into commissioner updates. I've asked the IT team for a video this evening to play just before we go into commissioner comments. It's from the executive director of the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners, Kevin Leonard. So we may experience some technical difficulty in sharing the video, but we are going to make the attempt. I will say he has been putting out some videos just informative to the public on different things, but also informative to some commissioners on different things such as roles and things happening across the state of North Carolina. So I will see if it will work. This is our first attempt at this type of video.
Hi, Commissioners. With all these discussions going on about property taxes lately, I've been asked, well, what do county commissioners actually do? Well, I think of county government as our front door to our democracy. And while county commissioner races are often near the end of your elections ballot, it's really one of the most important races. It impacts your daily life. County commissioners, they're elected by you and me and people in your county. And those county boards, they usually have 5 to 9 county commissioners on them, and they serve 2 or 4-year terms. And their main job is to pass a county budget by July 1st of every year. And depending on the county you live in, county budgets range from about $20 million to $2.5 billion across North Carolina. In that budget, commissioners, they're deciding how to fund critical and essential services. And when they balance that budget, they're weighing your tax bill against these essential services, all while meeting state and federally mandated requirements that every county must provide. And sometimes that just doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room. At the end of the day, it's most important to realize this, that county commissioners, they're your neighbors. They're making decisions that shape everyday life in your community. We hear a lot about national and state leaders on the news every day. But the day-to-day work of making government function, it happens right here at the county level. And that's a big reason county government matters. It truly is your front door to democracy. Commissioners, thanks for that public service. Thanks for your leadership. And thanks for listening.
All right. Thank you, sir, for sharing that. I'm going to go into commissioner comment. We'll start with Commissioner Roundtree.
Yes, my commissioner updates. Energy Saver NC presentation is going to take place next month. It's going to be on the agenda. I'm pleased to contact Mrs. Shana Brown of the Center of Energy Education. And what this does, it's going to help mitigate costs for our citizens. One of my priorities is to look out for the best interests of our citizens. Energy Saver North Carolina, it's a program, she's going to get the presentation, but I'm going to give you a briefing on it. It's a program that helps citizens receive energy efficient appliances and also to make their homes energy efficient. And it's offered to marginalized veterans, the elderly population. So Ms. Brown, she's going to come down and do a presentation, and then she's going to pass out literature for those who are interested in receiving those federal funds. These are federal funds, which is going to help our citizens mitigate the cost of energy. And we live in an economic time now where budgeting and making sure that we have money is essential. Also, next month, got Ripe Revival doing a presentation also. This founder and CEO, Mr. Will Carnegie, he will be giving the presentation. As we all know, food insecurity is a major issue, not only in the nation, state, but even locally. And I'm looking to partner with the food pantries here in Gates County. I'm gonna have dialogue with them and how we all can address this issue together. Again, looking out for the best interests of our citizens, our constituents, making sure food is on the table for those who need it during these challenging economic times. Also, I want to say thank you to U.S. Representative Congressman Don Davis. He gave us $1 million towards, as y'all heard tonight, towards a new community center and senior center. This is the beginning, but I thank God for the $1 million. And I'm looking forward to getting more money from various different places, more funding. And that's what commissioners do, and that's what the lobbyists, Mr. Steinberg, do on our behalf. Beating the pavement, making sure that we get funding for resources for our constituents so we can live, a well life, especially for our senior citizens, because our senior citizens make up a large percentage of the population here in Gates County. Also, as mentioned earlier, I had the opportunity to attend the announcement for U.S. forage rings. They're going to break ground this summer. It's going to be a great opportunity. I talked with the CEO and president, Mr. Sosi, and he was telling me how it's going to be vital, because we were talking about workforce development, and I was asking him how can we get, our constituents, Gates County constituents, ready for this big regional economic impact move. And he was saying, to have them to utilize the community college, and specifically he was talking about Roanoke Chowan College with Dr. Murray Williams. They have something in place with U.S. Forage Rings, training in the area of welding, fabrication, manufacturing type things. And that's why I mentioned earlier, it's going to be essential if our children or even ourselves, if we want to have that career path, is to prepare ourselves, because it's going to be a great economic opportunity starting base salary of $80,000. It's going to be 625,000 jobs, as I mentioned. But also, I didn't mention this, 10,000 construction jobs is going to start between the next 3 and 5 years. So it's going to be a lot of economic stimulus for this area, as far as housing, as far as businesses, recreation. It's going to be like Mr. Steinberg said, it's going to change the face of this region in a positive way. So I want to put that out. I attended that. I talked to Mr. CEO Sosi. Also, I attended the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners District 1 on meeting in Halifax, at Halifax Community College in Weldon, North Carolina. I was so proud of my chair, District 1 President. She gave a great presentation, and also she facilitated the breakout sessions. A fabulous, fabulous job. But during this district meeting, what we covered legislative briefings, we covered association updates, we covered our president gave his initiative, gave a summary on it, our president, Mr. Wallace Nelson, and also we had district reports. So it was very informative for the commissioners, very beneficial to me and as well as others. And last, on April the 4th at 5 o'clock, the Gates County Community Partnership will have its gala. I'm proud to be one of the directors for the partnership. And Brigadier General Mr. Terrence Adams, he's going to be the keynote speaker. It's going to take place at the K.E. White Center on Elizabeth City State University campus. It's going to be a grand event. Everybody get to dress up, put on their bow ties and beautiful dresses, and good fellowship. The Gates County Community Partnership has been, wow, outstanding to this community as far as in the areas of scholarship and college tours and computers for students, and wow, the list goes on and on. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight, being engaged. Hope everyone have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Go to Commissioner Forsythe.
Yeah, I'd like to say it's great, the community partnership you're talking about. I want to thank our clerk for sending out letters, though.
Yes.
There are lots of other organizations doing stuff as well. I think sometimes we don't realize how many different people are out there doing stuff. Our Ruritan clubs, our volunteer fire department, the Lions Club. In a way of an update, the Lions Club, we had given them money for the eye machine to start doing that. They did have a bit of a hiccup with they were required to buy it, I guess, and get a tax-free status. They ended up having to go through like the national group, and so they wanted to make sure the county commissioners didn't think they weren't moving out with it right away. They're getting that done with the intention of starting in the next school year with doing the eye screenings that they're going to do. So it is good, and I appreciate the fact that recognizing those groups that do so much across our community. I know I'm a member of one of the Ruritan clubs, but I've attended meetings with the others where they give money to the schools, the various schools that are in their areas to help things. They give out scholarships and all, and those are worthwhile things for us to recognize those groups in the community to do stuff like that. Separately, I wanted to mention the GITS discussion that came up, and I was using them. I actually think we ought to consider at the next meeting or whatever for the veterans event that's going to go on. In case I know it's a small fee, small amount of money, but we ought to make sure we say up front that we would be willing to pay for the small amount of transportation costs associated with that. I thought about bringing that up, but I didn't at the time, but we should probably do that in a future meeting. The discussion is going on about having a joint, I guess, government-supported private grocery store or whatever. And I know I've mentioned to y'all, I actually visited one. There's one in Surrey, Virginia. So I made the point to drive up there and visit it. It's a pretty nice facility. I talked to some of the local folks. They probably thought I was some weirdo standing outside their store approaching people as they were walking. They probably thought I was a panhandler at first, but asked them how they liked it, how it was working. And to be honest with you, my first assessment was this looks like a Dollar General store, but with a big meat department. But one of the things they talked about was their ability to flex somewhat. And initially, it was sort of like a big Dollar General store with a nice meat department. And they said business falls off or is kind of hard to track. They've actually set up also a food service area in there where a lot of people go and eat lunch and stuff now. And that was picking up. I recently visited there again for a second time over a period of months. And it's kind of a nice thing. It's the reaction to some of the public was very positive, and others it was like, I don't know why they spend our government money on this. So it's like anything, you're gonna get mixed reviews, but it's worthwhile for us at some point maybe to visit that one. I don't know if there's another one nearby, but the one in Surrey is pretty handy and pretty easy to do. It's nice and clean, well kept. So.
Yeah, that was the only one of that similar model.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's other ones, but it's not like that model where you have that public-private partnership thing kind of going on there.
Only thing is they need more parking.
Yeah.
Because I've been in there and I was only carring a lot, and then the next time I went, it was like 30 cars and I couldn't find a place to park. So
yeah, it's fine.
Anyway, last thing I wanted to mention is, I appreciate the work that our finance folks have done and how we now have a clear picture of us having a fairly healthy fund balance. And I would just want to put the bug out there that at some point, my kid runs track, so that's something I'm close to and see. But Gates County, when we compete in track, we always have had to travel somewhere else. We have to go to Hertford or somewhere else. We really ought to consider at some point funding the construction of a track. Perquimans built one along with their football field not long ago. It's not a whole lot of money that goes into a track. I mean, there's not a whole bunch of stuff that you got to have to do. And I really think we ought to consider that as being something that shows Gates County's growing with all the other school stuff going on. It shows the kids and the community that we're interested in trying to provide for them. And that's not a big football stadium. It's not a multi-million-dollar building.
Right.
It's pretty much a field with some fencing and paving and maybe some lights. And so we ought to consider that. And then, well, I won't say the last one. We already kind of talked about that. Okay, I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Yep.
I don't have much of a commissioner's update tonight. Just wanted to reiterate, as each one of our presenters has come up and discussed the many, many things that we as a community are working on, how the county commissioners are working for the citizens of this county. And we really do enjoy your feedback. You know, I know several of us are, we may not put a post out there, but we do look and see what other folks say and some of the community pages to kind of get the flavor of what's going on in the community. And so, because we do work for the citizens of Gates County, and we want to make sure that we are listening to what's going on out there. I do appreciate the hard work and the hard decisions that the school board has made for the county. I think we're headed in the right direction with that. I think there's the first step of many that has to happen over the next few years to continue down the path we need to have to put Gates County schools back where we want to have them as being some of the best in the state, and people want to come to Gates County specifically to go to school here. So there was a time that we had that, and we want to get it back. So thank y'all for your hard work and your decision making with that. I do want to say that there is a discussion that's kind of going around in the county right now as it relates to shipping containers, and people want to use those in their yards and those type of things like that. So I am noticing that. I'm interested to see how the ordinance is written now, so we can understand if that needs to be changed and debate that a little bit. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, thank you, sir. Y'all bear with me. I don't typically write mine out. I do a bullet point and just talk, but I had a lot that I wanted to make sure I get in. So I wanted to start by sharing a little bit about an advanced leadership corps that I recently attended at the UNC School of Government. The week did something. It pushed me, it challenged me, and it reminded me of why I chose to serve. It wasn't just about leadership skills, it was about people. It's about learning how to listen better and how to lead with intention and how to carry responsibility in a way that honors those that we serve. Being surrounded by leaders across the state, hearing stories and sharing in those conversations lights a fire in you that gives you the opportunity to bring it back home to Gates County. And I can tell you with full confidence that I'm walking into this season of service more focused, grounded, and committed than before. To my fellow commissioners, I want to say thank you, and not just a quick one, but a real one. I know what this role requires. I know the late nights, the hard conversations, the pressure, and the weight of decisions that don't come easy. And still, each of you continues to show up. You continue to sit at this table to wrestle with difficult issues and to carry the responsibility of the county, and that matters. I want you to know that it is seen and it is respected. To our county staff, I cannot say strongly enough that you are the backbone of this county. Day in and day out, you are doing the work that keeps everything moving. You're solving problems, serving our citizens, and often doing it without recognition or without us even having been aware of the problems. We come up to people and have them say, so-and-so helped me with this, and it never has to get brought to our attention because they're taking care of it at a lower level, which is very appreciated. So I also want to recognize, though, the Board of Education. The decision placed before you was incredibly difficult. These are not decisions that anyone takes lightly, and I respect the weight of what you're carrying. Whether people agree or disagree, I hope there is an understanding that these choices are made in situations where there are no easy answers, only hard responsibilities. To our citizens, I want to speak directly to you for a moment. I hear you. I truly do. I understand why there is frustration, and I understand why emotions are high. These issues touch your families, your children, your daily lives, and that matters. Your voice matters. But I also want to offer some perspective. When board members are unable due to life happening to fulfill the duration of their term, it places an unexpected burden on those who remain. It creates circumstances that are not ideal, decisions that must be made under pressure, and gaps that have to be filled quickly. And while that may not feel fair, the work has to continue. The responsibility to this county doesn't stop, even when the situation isn't perfect. Looking forward, I want to talk about what the future of Gates County can look like. A stronger, healthier Gates County is one where our children are cared for, where they are fed, supported, and given every opportunity to succeed. It's a place where families feel stability, where neighbors look out for one another, and where we come together to solve problems instead of letting them divide us. We all felt the weight of the recent vote regarding funding for the school nutrition program, regarding the consolidation of the schools. The school nutrition program was on the ballot, and it was a hard moment for some of us when it failed, because at the heart of it, it's not about policy, it's about our children. I believe every one of us can agree that no child in this county should go hungry. But what gave me hope, real hope, was what came out of our town hall. The people that showed up, the ideas that were shared, and the hearts that were open. One of the ideas was reaching out to our churches and faith-based community, because that's who we are. Gates County has always been a place where the church steps in, where neighbors help neighbors, and where when there's a need, people rise to meet it. That's the spirit of this county. I also want to take a moment to highlight something just as important, because while we've been navigating challenges, we have also been making real progress. We're moving forward with water infrastructure projects that will serve our communities for years to come. We're laying groundwork, literally, that will improve quality of life, support growth, and ensure sustainability for future generations. We have issued RFQs for both the community center and senior center, spaces that will bring people together, support our families, and honor our seniors. These are not small steps. These are investments in the people of Gates County. I want to personally extend an invitation to our citizens and to our community leaders and to our churches and to anyone who cares about this county to come to the table. Be a part of the conversation, bring your ideas, bring your solutions, because the best path forward is the one that we build together. I believe we are stepping into a new season, one where we have an opportunity to come together, to refocus, and to build something even stronger than what we've had before. Despite the challenges, there's so much good happening here. There are people stepping up, there are conversations happening that matter. There is growth and there is effort, and there is a shared desire to move forward. So I'll close with this. Gates County is not defined by one vote, one decision, or one difficult season. We are defined by how we respond, by how we come together, and by our willingness to keep showing up for one another. I believe in this county. I believe in the people sitting in this room, listening at home, and sitting at home not tuning in at all. I believe that what lies ahead for Gates County is strong, steady, and full of opportunity, and we're not backing down, we're not standing still. We're building something here together, and we're going to keep showing up for Gates County every single time. I also want to reiterate our contact information is public. Reach out, because we do want to hear from you. And with closing, we're going to go to public comment, and I do look forward to, as Commissioner Berryman said, hopefully having one speaker that is going to speak on something that I can say ahead of time I am greatly interested in. Three. That's exciting. All right, Mr. Simmons, if you could come to the podium and just state your name and voting district, and then there'll be a 3-minute timer for you.
This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, but I'm calling up here about the shipping containers. I recently left my job for medical reasons, and I'm a mechanic, and I have probably enough tools to fill half this room. And a shipping container is a good storage option. And for the farmers around here also, they're great for holding feed and whatever else you want to secure. Keeps animals, products, whatever you want secured. And we do have a problem in this county of thieves coming around. And it is a good secured storage. And I went to get one, and then I found out, oh, we don't do that no more. We don't allow it. So some people do, some people don't have them. I still see them coming in the county, so I want to know what the ruling is. Can it be looked at? Do I got to get a variance? What do I got to do? But I got a petition going, and in one day it has over 180 signatures. So I'm trying to find out, what do I do? That's all I got.
I appreciate it. I will say we don't typically give responses, but we will have this looked into. Thank you. Yes, sir. Oh. Give us just one brief, oh, we have it, okay.
I'm filling in
All right.
for Renee. The next person is Curtis Chamley.
All right, Mr. Chambly.
I'd like to say good evening to the commissioners.
Good evening.
Attorney Godwin. I'd just like to say, you know, I'm not actually from Gates County, but my wife tells me I am because I've been here about 40 years now. And the thing that I have is that my wife is retired, and where can we get something to eat at? You know, I have no problem with Tar Heel. That's been a staple here for years, ever since I've been coming here dating my wife. Doris and Rogers, they stayed open for a minute, and then they closed, and I thought Whistle stopped, but, you know, they don't seem to know what they want to do. They had the Salted Hippie. They had some good subs, but they were gone. Mm-hmm. And my thing is, especially in the time that we live in now, a lot of women don't like to cook on Sundays, Fridays. So, you know, instead of having to drive 45 minutes to Chesapeake or maybe Franklin or Elizabeth City, I mean, there's not much in Ahoskie either. So, you know, what can we do for the county, for the people? Because per se, like myself, I'm getting older. I don't like to drive like I used to drive, you know, and I like to eat right here in the county, you know, take my family out and sit down and eat a good steak or a good hamburger, you know. And I think that it is something that I heard in the meeting that about 200 people are tourists that visit the mill pond. Well, where can they get something to eat at? You know, when you got 158 that runs from the mountain into the ocean, people are traveling, but where can they really stop to get something to eat? And I thank you for hearing me.
Thank you, appreciate you. Ms. Chapel?
Hello, good evening. My name is Kelly Chappell, and I'm from here. I hope I said that correctly. I've only been here about 3 years, and I hear it said different ways, and I really have no idea where I live. And Dominion didn't believe me that it was Reduco, and it was a big thing, so we got it straight, but I am in your. I am kind of a newbie, but in the 3 years I have been here, there has been an issue I have noticed that is of monumental proportions, chronic, and overwhelming. And that would be the amount of animals in the county that are lost, missing, misplaced, abandoned, deceased. And I know the county does not have a lot of resources to handle this. It's been very evident over these past 3 years. I know that Tri-County does what it can, but it is one little shelter for 3 counties. Gates County is the biggest county. They are overwhelmed as well at all times. So I think the discussion needs to be there, and with urgency, about setting up some kind of facility to handle this, whether it's a satellite office of Tri-County or something for Gates or something that's run by a 503. I think that needs to be a discussion, and I know there will need to be lots of discussion on that. A caveat to that, where I came from, Virginia Beach, you had to have a license for your dog. To get that license, you had to go to a vet, and you had to get the core vaccines. You had to get a rabies, you had to get a distemper, you had to get a lepto, and probably a bordetella if you wanted to get groomed or boarded. Those are your core vaccines, and maybe a heartworm test. and you got your license. And it was like $9 a year. It was nominal. But those funds added up when people registered their dogs, and that went towards helping the animal services of that city. Another thing with Hampton Roads is the cities communicate with the other rescues in the area. They all work together. Here out in the counties, they will not let you bring a dog you found in Gates to Hertford or to another county. They won't take the animal. That's kind of frustrating. We should be working at this very overwhelming topic. So anyway, I just propose that maybe that could be an option, because I know funding's going to come up in discussion, but I just think it's a very valuable service for our community to make it safe and healthy for all of us.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is that the last on the, yeah, okay. All right, with all of the agenda items complete, if we could get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So seconded.
All in favor? All right, we are adjourned. I'm gonna go.